Hey, it's Dr. Dunaway with Chiro Strength, and today I'm going to talk about foot pain that you get on the bottom of the foot here. A lot of times that is blanketed as plantar fasciitis. I'm not going to label it as anything, but if you have any type of foot pain, especially kind of down here on the heel or kind of running through the foot when you're standing or first thing in the morning, here's some strategies to release that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is if I'm going to do any type of stretching, I want to precede any stretching with some lacrosse ball. I got a little ball here that's kind of a little bit denser than a tennis ball, but not as hard as a lacrosse ball, because I'm going to put that on the bottom of my foot. And I'm not going to roll the bottom of my foot out, but I'm just going to slowly kind of put some pressure on and get some big toe extension here and just go through my entire foot, putting a little pressure in different areas. And all I'm trying to do is take this ball and kind of roll all the way down this way, back up in the middle, and then down the outside, and just squash and compress that tissue to try to rehydrate it. And now I'll do that similar thing in the calf with the ball by putting my leg like this and kind of just working up the calf. Again, trying to find any tender tissues and trigger points and just kind of holding those areas for 10-15 seconds. If you want to use a foam roller, a lot of times people sit on here like this and do foam rolling like that. What I prefer is just to sit on your heels like this, and as you just compress and kind of rock back and forth, you'll really be able to get some good compressive pressure on the calves. And again, I always work some compression just to rehydrate the tissues prior to stretching. So after you've done some soft tissue work, here's the stretches that I prefer for any type of Achilles, plantar fasciitis type pain. First of all, I'm going to get a towel. And the towel, I'm going to open up and put my foot in it, and then I'm just going to reach over, and so the towel's completely wrapping my foot, and I'm going to relax my foot, sit up nice and straight, and as I pull back and go side to side or kind of rotate my ankle in and out like this, what's going on there is that the towel is really spreading the foot out and getting my toes back. And then as I go side to side or back and forth like this, I can get a lot of different kind of fascial pulls in the calf right here. And I'll spend about 30 seconds to a minute just relaxing, breathing, and pulling my foot back and forth like that. Now, the other thing I like doing is a calf stretch on a stair or a calf stretch on a half foam roller. And what I'll do there is there's three positions I'll stretch in. So I'll stretch in this position. So if I'm stretching my left foot, I'll stretch in this position, I'll stretch in this position, and I'll stretch in this position. And what I'll do is I'll come to a stair and I'll step forward a little bit and slowly let my heel drop, keeping my knee nice and straight. And again, breathe for about 30 seconds in this position, just letting it relax down. Again, turn my toe out, 30 seconds, turn my toe in, 30 seconds. And I'll do that on both sides. Now I'll also come back and see if I bend my knees now, if I get a deeper stretch or a stronger stretch. And if that provides me a better stretch, I'll do those same 3 foot positions with a bent knee. But the main thing to understand with foot pain is that a lot of times it's not a tissue tension issue, it's a stability issue. And so the arch of the foot or the insertion point of a lot of these muscles on the heel, they are just getting beat up because there's not a stability mechanism in place. So I would focus a lot of my time not on releasing tissues. I'd go through that little protocol I talked about. But now we got to start talking about the stability mechanisms that you're either lacking or you just don't practice enough in the foot. So the first thing we talk about is foot intrinsic muscles, is that you should be able to operate your foot independently from big toe to the rest of the toe. So you should be able to lift one toe up like this. And you should be able to lift the other little toes up like this. You should be able to splay the toes out. You should be able to squeeze the toes together. So if you don't have that kind of dexterity in the foot, I literally would just, anytime you have a spare time in the shower, as you're eating dinner, anything like that, just work on the dexterity of the feet. That will start to wake up the feet, make them more reactive. So anytime we're doing any balancing drills, you'll get better activation of the foot. Now, from a strengthening standpoint, if we have a tendonitis in the foot going on, we have to slowly start reintroducing load in a good quality fashion to those tissues so they can start to adapt again and become robust enough to handle the stresses of daily walking and stuff like that. So what I usually see people with calf pain do is when I have them do a toe raise, they come up, they'll roll the outside of the foot like this, and their heels come out. When the problem with that is they don't have the stability mechanisms to go straight up. So a good heel lift as I come straight up, and come straight down, you should see the heels go straight up. If you have a problem with that, lock a ball in the heel, come straight up, straight down. And now what I would work up to is I'd get that ball in the heel like this, and I would work on eccentric calf raises. So get yourself some support with that ball between the heels so the heels go straight up and down. I'd come up, hold this position for a couple seconds, and then slowly let yourself back down as you're using this broomstick as little as possible, but as much as necessary. Slow down, and what I'll end up doing is I'll probably do 15 sets of 15 to 20 of those, starting with one set for a week or so, and then slowly introducing more sets as you start to build up the tolerance to that tissue sensitivity there. So the other thing I'll start doing there, so we talked about some of the dexterity in the feet, being able to utilize the motion with the big toe and the little toes. We talked about the calf raises and how important it is to keep the heels straight instead of out like this. And the last thing, once you got all that stuff in place, then we talk about single leg stance drills, single leg deadlifts, single leg squats, single leg lunges, kind of sliding lunges. There's a bunch of different tools you can use. I won't go into getting into the specifics of how to perform all of them, but it's really important to understand that if you don't strengthen the glutes and the hip on the side where you're having pain, the foot's never going to really be able to get full recovery. So I went through, again, just to kind of review, if you're going to do stretches and stuff like that, follow up with some soft tissue work with a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, foam roller, then go into some good stretches where you're really splaying the foot out. Make sure you work that calf because that's going to be very important in all three directions. So heel straight down, toes out, and then toes in. And then start working on the stability of the foot. And then start working on being able to lift the foot and lift the heel in a good fashion. And then work on some balance drills, either single leg squat, single leg deadlift. And putting this all into a 15 to 20 minute program that you do on a daily basis or 3 times a week even, will really start to desensitize the tissues of the feet, really increase the robustness of them, and you should be able to not only get over the foot pain, but eventually be able to kind of put that thing in the past and be able to go about running or daily activities that used to hurt you, be able to do that without any pain. So if you have any questions with any of the stuff we talked about, you can leave a comment below. You can always email me at drdunaway@chirostrength.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And again, this is Dr. Dunaway with Chiro Strength saying, don't just mend, transcend. Thanks.